is going to be a reading vlog based on my June TBR, which are my reads for Pride Month. And yes, this is coming out in July. Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Stephanie. I mentioned in my June TBR video, I'm not somebody who can read heaps of books in 1 month. I just don't have the time for that, simply put. So just 2 books today, nothing wild. The first one is Chlorine by Jade Song. This one I've been looking forward to for quite a while. Originally I was like, oh, a mermaid. It's got a mermaid on the cover. It's about a girl in a swimming team and mermaids are involved. Does that mean it's like H2O vibes? I don't know if you've seen this. It was my entire childhood. The TV show H2O Just Said Water that like the past few years randomly got huge for making fun of Australian accents. But that show was literally my life. I was so obsessed. If I wasn't able to get home from school on time to watch it, I would make my mum record it for me on a video, like VHS, and then I would watch it later. So yeah, I fucking love mermaids and it's like, goes back to my childhood. Anyway, so I was like, is this H2O vibes? A teenager ends up being a mermaid but she's on a swim team like Emma? Like, how's she gonna deal with it? Anyway, upon further research, this is not that. It is more dealing with like mental health, and we don't even actually know if she's truly a mermaid. Like, maybe it's all in her mind, and that's becoming more apparent. I've actually started this book. I'm up to page 38. And so far, it says on the front, entrances even as it unsettles, brilliantly written. That is true. The writing is really easy to read. So I'm going to read the description of the book. A mesmerizing tale of sapphic longing, intense obsession, and fierce defiant becoming. Ren Yu is a swimmer. Her daily life starts and ends with the pool. Her teammates are her only friends, her coach, her guiding light. Intimacy is shared in locker room cubicles, success measured in personal bests. But this is the world of humans, for those confined to land. Ren grew up on stories of the creatures of the deep, of a creature dangerous, powerful, liberated, the creature that she has always longed to become, a mermaid. Ren dreams of the scent of chlorine and the feel of it on her skin. She aches to be in the water, and she will do anything she can to make a life in the freedom of its depths, no matter the pain, no matter what anyone thinks, no matter how much blood she has to spill. Enthralling and visceral, this is an unforgettable vision of adolescence in all of its horrific glory. So, it's very intriguing, and I also just really love the cover. And then I had this book for so long, and I had it on display on my shelf for such a long time. When I say long, like a good few months. And then I saw there's a little bloody hand in the fucking water. And also there's like blood dripping from the tail. So interesting. Really been in the mood for kind of like thrillery vibes, so hopefully this delivers. So far it's really intriguing. I've actually tabbed it quite a few times. I don't know if you can see. I'm gonna take the dust jacket off because actually I just can't read books with the dust jacket on. It drives me crazy, and I'm also like worried that I'm going to damage the dust jacket, so I like keeping that nice. And then I just have the naked book, and this is what it looks like. It's just got like some gold like foiling on the edges. Yeah, let me know down in the comments below how you read your hardbacks. Do you read them with the dust jacket on or off? I want to know, because I don't see anyone talking about this. I see people reading with the dust jacket on, and I don't know if that's just for show or if people genuinely read with it on, and if so, please tell me how you do it, because I'm just always worried I'm going to damage it. Anyway, I've started it and I'm actually really intrigued to continue. It's got a lot going on. It's very gay, and I love that. It's very like kind of feminist in a way. Like, there's a lot of comments made about men in like a derogatory way. Well, is that feminist? I don't know. You let me know that. Like, for example, this is one of the quotes. The tiny details comprising insignificant men like him have long since been discarded from my memory. So it's very much like there's all these comments about men in there, which I'm like, yes, I have underlined them all. So far, like the vibe of this book, it's a bit foreshadowing in the beginning, as in it's It's written from the perspective of the main character recalling events of her life. So in the beginning there's a lot of foreshadowing about how that ends up, and I have some assumptions. I obviously don't know if they're correct. And there's like small hints of gore and like body horror, and nothing too wild, just little sprinkles. I think though as the book goes on it's going to ramp up a bit. I don't know, I just get that vibe. Yeah, there's a lot of ick things going on, but there's a lot of sweet things going on too. So far it is a story about identity, but to me it's very much like the main character wrapped up in this idea of being a mermaid and wanting to be a mermaid from a very young age. And then I think it's going to go on to be like how that then manifests in her teens and onwards. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to this one, and I've started it. I really want to keep reading, really into that. And then there is Bellies by Nicola Dinnan. This one I honestly haven't heard too much about in terms of like what it is about. The reason I purchased it was because the reviews that I saw of it were all really positive, and like there's been a few reviewers that I really trust that have like spoken so highly of this book and how well it is written and everything like that. I picked it up less about what it's about, more so that it is an amazing book, and I have obviously since learned what it's about, so I'll read the back. It begins as your typical boy meets boy. While out with friends at a university drag night, Tom buys Ming a drink. Confident and witty, a charming young playwright, Ming is the perfect antidote to Tom's awkward energy, and their connection is instant. Tom finds himself deeply and desperately drawn to Ming's orbit, and on the cusp of graduation, he's already mapped out their future together. But shortly after they move to London and start their next chapter, Ming announces her intention to transition. From London to Kuala Lumpur, New York to Cologne, we follow Tom and Ming as they face shifts in their relationship in the wake of Ming's transition. Through a spiral of unforeseen crises, some personal, some professional, some life-altering, Tom and Ming are forced to confront the vastly different shapes their lives have taken since graduating, and each must answer the essential question: is it worth losing a part of yourself to become who you want to be? And isn't that the eternal question? Is it worth losing yourself to become who you want to be? That's so deep. Yeah, I'm ready for this. I think it feels very litfic, and I'm just hoping it doesn't drag on. But I am really looking forward to seeing how this story plays out, and also how they handle like the main character Ming transitioning. Please, can you let me know in the comments below what you think this image on the front is? It says bellies, but it doesn't look like belly. They don't really look like oranges. To me, they look like butt cheeks have been changed to be orange. But how does that doesn't make sense, because if they're butt cheeks, why is it called bellies? I also, I really want to find out why it's called bellies. I love knowing why books are called what they are. And sometimes they make absolutely no sense, but then sometimes they make complete sense once you've finished the book. So yeah, please let me know down in the comments below what you think this image is. I would really like to know. And if you found out, sorry, it says peach on the back, but it's just, that could just be branding, because it doesn't look like a peach. I've never seen a peach that looks like this. Anyway, so firstly, I'm going to continue on with Chlorine, and then I'm going to check in with you with an update later. back with a reading update for Chlorine. I am about halfway now. I'm up to page 107. Actually, let's see if it is halfway. It's 220 pages, so yeah, about halfway. This book is beginning to not be how I imagined it. It's kind of getting that like middle of the book ick. I don't know. I don't know if anyone else experiences this, but sometimes I feel when I get into the middle of the book, if it begins to bring up themes that I'm just not interested in reading, or it ends up going in a direction that I'm not too happy about, I kind of like lose a little bit of interest in reading. It's not bad by any means. Like, it's actually pretty fast-paced to read. I think it has been a little bit disappointing from what it alludes to in this story. I mean, I don't know what happens at the end, but it talks about being like sapphic, but it's not really. Like, it's only sapphic in the characters' minds. There's our main character, Ren, and then there's also her best friend, Kathy. They also are in love with each other in their teenage years, but it's kind of like revealed pretty early on that that doesn't actually, like, nothing manifests from that. It's just like they have this longing for each other, and that's kind of where it ends. It doesn't actually end up going anywhere, at least as they are teenagers, which is where the majority of the book is taking place, so far at least. It's Kathy's point of view is like this, and it's like told in like letter form. They're written as letters to Ren, not just like Kathy living her life, and that's been okay, but I feel like a lot of it's very telly. These letters pull me out of the story a little bit. I think also too, like the way that Kathy's point of view is written, I don't know if it's written this way to feel kind of distinct from Ren's, but it's very like flowery writing, as if like, I don't know, sometimes it kind of reminds me of how I write sometimes, and I have been told my writing is too flowery and I need to pare it back. I don't know if it's like purposefully trying to be flowery, as in like it's trying to push the point that they're love letters, or it's just the way the author decided to write it, which I don't know if it was a good choice because I don't really enjoy them that much. Another thing, I don't want to be talking about negatives this whole time, but I feel like at this point in the book, I don't necessarily feel positive about it. The only thing really propelling me forward is to kind of unravel the mystery of why there's a lot of allusions to mermaids. Other than that, there's nothing else that really makes me want to continue reading. Another thing, what I was going to mention earlier, I feel like it's suffering from this thing where they kind of write the main character as just kind of like, I don't know, it's hard to explain. I feel like the main character acts like it's like she's completely apathetic about everything and anything that happens and doesn't really care and kind of just goes with the flow. But then you hear from like bits of dialogue that other people are talking to her about, or in the letters that Kathy is writing, you see glimpses of like she was a straight A student, she was the best swimmer and worked so hard, she had this amazing sense of dress and style. But it's like, if these are all part of someone's personality, I don't understand why the character was portrayed so kind of, I guess, blankly and one-track minded. Whereas like there are so many other things happening in this main character's life that are kind of just like, they're not even spoken about. Like, for example, in my experience, if someone is a really nice dresser and has good fashion sense, majority of the time it means that they're putting in that effort and they're taking time to research, they're taking time to find clothes that they really like and match clothes together and all that kind of stuff. And that's what Kathy alludes to in this story, is that Ren, the main character, has an amazing sense of style. But then when it comes to Ren's point of view, there's absolutely nothing ever said about her clothing or her sense of dress or anything like that. It's really, really bizarre. And I don't know if I'm explaining it in a way that explains how I'm meaning it. I don't know, like I've just felt like it was different in the beginning. I felt like there was a lot more vibrancy to the voice of the character and the way that they describe their life, but then as time's gone on, that's less so. And I mean, maybe that's on purpose. I'm kind of hoping then in a way that's on purpose. Anyway, so yeah, that's the update for Chlorine. Halfway there, halfway to go. Hopefully I can finish this soon. I'm kind of, after this, I'm kind of thinking that Bellies might not be the best next choice, because I'm just really not in the mood for Litvic, and I think like I really, sorry, that's my cat Lulu, she's in a destructive mood. She only gets this way when she's pissed off about something, like when I'm not giving her food on time, but I promise you she's been fed. Yeah, I'm just not quite in the mood for Litvic at the moment, and I want to give it the concentration and, what's the word, the concentration, that's not the right word. I want to give it the, you right there? You happy there? Okay. Attention, attention, oh my god. I want to give it the attention it deserves, and I want to give my full focus to it, and I don't want to just push myself to read it if I don't feel like it. You good with that? So yeah, I'll catch up with you when I've read some more. And please don't mind my ruddy hair. I'm hopefully going to get it cut soon. I was unsure if I wanted to grow it out or, you know, keep it a bit longer, or cut it short. But then recently I'm like, yeah, no, I want to get it cut. It's just annoying to handle long and it's at a really awkward length. Anyway, I'll catch up with you when I finish this book. Update about chlorine. This, actually, first let's address this. I got my hair cut and I'm not happy with it at all. It's way too short. It looks like, yeah, when I pull it out like this and when it sits like this, it's a bit longer looking. It's not what I wanted, but we all have those, don't we? We all have those haircuts where it's not what we exactly want. Anyway, so I finished Chlorine. First, I must say, like, from the last update about this book, things turned around drastically. Sorry if you could hear my cat Lulu. When I accidentally leave my cupboard door open, which is right next to the cat trees, she loves climbing up in the cupboard and tipping everything off as she makes her own little spaces up there to play in. Anyway, so from last I talked about this, things changed dramatically, I feel. I didn't have a very positive mindset about this book. Pretty much as soon as I started reading again from that clip, shit started happening, and it was really interesting. I think, like, if I get into any details, it's gonna be spoilery, and I don't like those things being spoiled myself. But let me know if you would like a bit more info. Let me know if you feel like I'm not giving enough info, or you'd rather me tell you tiny little spoilery things, not too spoilery, that ruins the book. To be honest, like, I finished this a couple of days ago. I still don't know what to think about it. I think it's gonna take me a while, like a good few weeks, to really sit with this story and know kind of like what I think about it overall. Because still there's parts of it where I feel like give me the ick and are a bit uncomfortable and things, but then I think I need to sit with the story a little bit longer to know whether I feel like all those things like that, and also the body horror that really ramps up the further you go into the story. Just trying to see if that's all worth it, like for the payoff of the story. I'm not quite sure yet. I might do a wrap up or something and talk more about it there. As it stands right now, overall, I am really glad I read this book. It was interesting, and honestly, now what I want to do is like go to find reviews of this book because I need to talk to someone about it. There's aspects about it that I want to know if people have a different interpretation, what they think, if there's anything that I missed that would kind of help interpret some aspects of this book. I feel like it's very much one of those where like the reader's interpretation of it is subjective. Anyway, okay. So there's this book. I decided after kind of a bit of the heaviness of this book, the kind of thinking and all the themes and all the deep dives into humanity and all that kind of stuff, I feel like picking up bellies is not the right time for me. So I decided I'm going to put this one on pause for a little bit. I still do really want to read it. I read a little bit of it just to kind of gauge the vibes, and they're not the vibes that I want at the moment. So I think I'm gonna DNF this / not properly pick this up right now because I think I'm not ready for it right now. I'm not in the headspace, but I am in the headspace for a fun kind of fantasy kind of story and a bit of mystery, but healthy mystery, not disturbing mystery like chlorine. I decided to pick up This Poison Heart by Kaylin Bayron, and I've heard very good things about this. I, to be honest, don't know the specifics of what I've exactly heard, but I actually have started it. I have read 16 pages so far. I love the themes of it. It's actually slightly different from anything I've kind of read in the same vein. Like, this is fantasy about a girl who has a gift and she can like grow plants and flowers. She's kind of got to hide this aspect of herself so no one catches her and puts her in a lab and tries to dissect her. She's very interested in botany and stuff, I guess, to kind of study her gift more, which I really appreciate that aspect of like the science part of it. I studied science in a previous life. I feel like I have such an affinity for those kind of subjects. I really still love the subject, just know that I am not built for working in that industry. The main character, Brie, she has these beautiful loving parents. It says it's LGBTQ+ on like all the places like Storygraph and Goodreads and stuff like that. I just don't know 100% like what that means. Like, is it the main character? Is it the fact that she has 2 mums? I don't know. Sorry. So yeah, but so far parents are fully aware of her gift. They've known about it for her whole life and they are so supportive. It's like so refreshing to see from YA and like the perspective of like a child that has a gift. Usually you see they're hiding it from their parents, and you know, their parents kind of get alienated because the child keeps trying to hide it from them. Yeah, like I said, really refreshing to see like the parents in on it and they treat her with such respect. Like, it just felt so nice. Do you enter this world? It's not like full of uncertainty and fear from the main character. Like, she's literally just living her life, wants to know more about her gift, and that's kind of what I've gathered so far in the measly 16 pages that I've read. I mean, not a lot has happened, but they've set up the story quite well. Yeah, so I'm definitely excited to continue with this. I don't want to delay this too much because I don't know how long it's going to take me to read this, so I think I'm gonna wrap up the vlog here. And yeah, this is pretty much what a typical month of reading for me looks like. I decide what I want to read and then I completely change my mind. If you've read Chlorine, definitely let me know. If you've read This Poison Heart, let me know if it's worth it, and also because it's the first in a series, let me know if you think that the series is worth continuing on with. If you would like to follow my Instagram, the link is in the description box down below. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!